The former king of political analysts, Mark Halperin, has been dethroned due to allegations of UAL improprieties. Photo illustration by Darrow. Reputations aren't what they used to be. The bigger they are, the faster they fall. Reputations that lurched upright for decades, showered with a confetti of newspaper clippings, festooned with honorary degrees, and fortified with genuine accomplishments, can be brought down today with an inglorious crash in a frenzy of social media fury, like Frankenstein's monster given the Old Village stomp. 2017 has hosted a monster mash of big-name demolishings, an extended St. Valentine's Day massacre of problematic men. Disturbing, unsavory rumors had long ghost-dogged the producer Harvey Weinstein, the producer-director Brett Ratner, and the writer-director James Chubak, dark princes whose names became associated by many in the film industry with a bad moon rising. Disclosure: I've known and been on friendly terms with Chubak since the 1970s, when we met through the critic Pauline Kael. Louis C.K.'s masturbatory spasms were the simmering subject of gossip and speculation seemingly for ages, likewise the salacious rumors and bad vibes riding on the skulking shoulders of Kevin Spacey. The accusations against Spacey of with minors and aggressive groping of coworkers, which led to the demise of House of Cards and the radical excision of his performance from Ridley Scott's All the Money in the World, confirmed suspicions that had brewed in the whisper zones of show business for a considerable spell. Hence, it was mulishly mistaken of journalistic Hall of Famer Gay Talese Fume at the New York Public Library's Literary Lions celebration. I hate that actor that ruined this guy's career, as if the incident with Anthony Rapp were an isolated lapse that leapt out of the blue. As for Talese's lecturing adult survivors of UAL abuse to suck it up once in a while, oi. It had like something Larry David might blurt out on Curb Your Enthusiasm, landing himself in a heap of grief. However, I understand Talese's repertorial itch to profile Spacey and ask what it's like to lose a lifetime of success and hard work in a whoosh. Only, the person I'd want to know that of is Mark Halperin, a journalistic juggernaut formerly of ABC, MSNBC, NBC, HBO, Showtime, and the bestseller list, now professionally stuck in oblivion. Why Halperin? As a dramatist persona, Halperin is probably the least compelling of 2017's hit parade of disgraced men, a human laptop compared with beanbags of complications such as Weinstein, Chubak, Spacey, C.K., and Leon Wieseltier, the former New Republic literary editor fired from his new post after numerous women recounted their run-ins with his lechery during his previous tenure. Second disclosure: I happily did numerous book reviews for Leon at the New Republic. But Halperin, a political kingmaker and narrative shaper, was the most influential of these players, his plunge in the elevator car perhaps the most precipitous. He went from a charmed life to leper status in a mortal flash. His day of reckoning: October 26, 2017, when CNN ran a report by Oliver Darcy that began, veteran journalist Mark Halperin newly harassed women while he was in a powerful position at ABC News, according to 5 women who shared their previously undisclosed accounts with CNN and others who did not experience the alleged harassment personally, but were aware of it. The charges against Halperin included breast-grabbing, uninvited kissing, and, in at least 3 instances, pressing a stiffened penis shielded in its trousers against the bodies of female recipients. Halperin released a statement to CNN acknowledging his unprofessional, pushy improprieties, and apologized for the pain he had caused. Under the circumstances, I'm going to take a step back from my day-to-day work while I properly deal with this situation. After he stepped back, more accusers stepped forward, and Mr. High Inside found himself outside floating on an ice floe. His publisher canceled the forthcoming book on the 2016 Clinton-Trump race that Halperin was co-writing with his longtime collaborator, John Heilemann, a serious loss to all parties since the 2 previous campaign chronicles by the dynamic duo, Game Change and Double Down, had been major hits, and Game Change enjoyed a second life after being adapted into a rollicking HBO original starring Ed Harris as John McCain and Julianne Moore as McCain's dingling running mate, Sarah Palin. With Halperin in disgrace, HBO announced it was putting the kibosh on any possible sequel. To quote the famous last line of Hemingway's, "My old man, seems like when they get started, they don't leave a guy nothing." For someone whose circulatory system is synced to the rhythms of politics, Halperin must have felt bereft on the night of November 7, when Democrats won upset victories in Virginia, New Jersey, and elsewhere, a political table flip. The familiar druids convened on MSNBC to pick over the dead and extract the portents, but Halperin was nowhere to be seen or heard, a veteran starter who had been pulled from the rotation. Halperin went from a charmed life to leper status in a mortal flash. And almost nobody in the media community seemed to be pining for his return. What a dandelion puff! The respect of one's colleagues is poof and it's gone. Or perhaps the respect for Halperin's journalistic hustle was outweighed by an amassing of ill will, envy, and resentment of his smirky know-it-allness, not to mention an understandable caution that there might be other skeletons from his past out there that may come knocking with an additional delivery of karma. Only MSNBC's Morning Joe regular Mike Barnacle, quoted in Lloyd Grove's extensive piece on Halperin's crash flame out for the Daily Beast, piped up spiritedly on Halperin's behalf. He condemned Halperin's creepy, bad, truly bad behavior with women but extended a plea for clemency. He deserves to be punished for what he did. He deserves to have what he did be deplored. But does he deserve to die? How many times can you kill a guy? Yet don't count him out for good, no matter how many times he gets executed. This is America, it's geared for comebacks, declared Barnacle, and he would know. Barnacle was the beneficiary of a generous reprieve, given a huge second chance after his own career capsized in 1998 when it was revealed that he had committed serial plagiarism as a columnist at the Boston Globe. Second chances are in shorter supply these days, and Halperin bears a stigma that goes beyond erectile encroachments. It can be summed up in a malediction created by the Republican strategist, scathing polemicist, and Twitter samurai Rick Wilson: everything Trump touches dies. And Halperin has Trump's paw prints all over him, metaphorically speaking. No political commentator or analyst outside the employ of Fox News did more to legitimize and normalize Donald Trump as a presidential candidate than Mark Halperin. He hailed Trump as one of the two most naturally gifted presidential candidates in our lifetime, the other being Bill Clinton, an even greater possessor of political skill than Barack Obama, whom, lest we forget, Halperin once called kind of a dick, which prompted MSNBC to suspend him. After a bombshell story in the New York Times exposed Trump's track record of UAL harassment, Halperin's faith in Trump's mojo remained sanguine. There's some troubling things in the piece, but there's nothing illegal, there's nothing even kind of like beyond boorish or politically incorrect, which is built into the Donald Trump brand. So, if that's the best they have in this score, Donald Trump can celebrate this story politically. Even the release of the notorious Access Hollywood "Grab 'em by the Pussy" tape didn't give Halperin serious qualms. He proved prescient about Trump's voter appeal, more prescient than his staffers, and in tune with the tom-tom drums in soul and white America, but there are those who can never forgive him for discounting the import of Trump's pattern of predation and for treating the 2016 campaign as a giddy joyride. The hell with the consequences. So, Halperin is doubly cursed and acknowledged UAL harasser in a year when a wrathful scythe is being swung and a buddy-buddy enabler of Donald Trump, with whom any association carries a blight. But the path to redemption begins with repentance, and a second, longer apology Halperin issued for the harm he had caused, took responsibility and expressed remorse. It won't be enough to make true amends or appease the angry tiki gods, but it's more than we got from most of those other guys, and a chastened soul is better than no soul at all.